What is up, guys? Back in today with another reaction to Solo Leveling, this time with the final episode of Season 2. Really good episode last time out. Loved the production, the fight scenes were great. There was a few moments, again, with like the light shows, which were alright. I actually think a lot of the really good details were quite overlooked in terms of a lot of the discussion. Obviously, the most standout parts were the Jinwoo taken on the King Ant, but there was a lot of really nice kind of design and like slight movements and such during just like some of the talking scenes that I really paid attention to, which were great. Overall this season I don't think it's been quite as good as season 1. I say that just because I think the start of season 1 was probably my favourite part of the series so far, just in terms of like the writing and such. It hasn't been, I don't think we've reached that kind of level yet, and that kind of feeling that we did feel. I say that it's hard the word because like the fight scenes and such were very much hype, but we haven't felt that kind of like feeling of like dread and such that we felt during the opening episodes, which is a little bit of a shame. But again, the writing is not the strong point of this series, so there's not too much point kind of critiquing it, because that is not why I'm watching this show. But looking forward to seeing how we do end things off today. Looking forward to seeing what happens with the Japanese people as well, considering their whole betrayal plan is really failed. But yeah, do let me know what you guys think about this episode down in the comment section. Make sure to leave a like on the video if you guys do like, and subscribe to the channel if you do want to keep up to date. Someone's got an attitude. So what's going to happen to Che something? Going to be a risen, you reckon? So he's going to be a risen. That's pretty cool. I mean, having a support arisen, I think this is the first time that's happened. It's interesting, isn't it? We've arisen a human before, haven't we? I wonder what it's like being one of these. I wonder what it's like. Again, I'm not sure. That would be a really interesting plot point to look into, what it would be like as one of these arisen kind of soldiers. But again, this series doesn't seem to kind of delve into too much in that regard, does it? And again, that's totally fine. I did see people complain a little bit about how all the S rank hunters felt quite weak, and I do agree. They did kind of seem, it was a slight letdown in terms of like the power levels, but there's not really much you can do that when you've got two, like you've got Jinwoo, like just ridiculous, and you've got this King Ant, which is just ridiculous as well. There's not really too much you can actually do in that regard, is there? Like, he kind of writ himself in a corner a little bit. I've always said this. I'm not too sure about Korean manga, but people that do like comics and manga and mangua and stuff like that, they do. You have got to kind of think they are artists at the end of the day. Like, these people, they don't write books. I mean, you could classify them books, I guess, but the main reason they get into this, into kind of being a mangaka and such, is because they like drawing, is because they're really good at drawing and their artwork is great. And then they've kind of got to become a good writer, and I imagine that's really hard to do. And I think this show depicts that quite well. The artwork and the animation and such is really cool, but it very much does feel bare bones. And again, it's totally understandable why, as I just said. A lot of these people, they're not writing novels. They're not writing like Harry Potter or anything, are they? Well, they got into this because they like drawing. They're really good at drawing. So it's actually like super impressive when there's like an amazing story to go with it. Hey, well, so he had to arise him so he could save her. Okay. He's actually dead. Oh, he's mine now. I'll do what I want with him. Ah, okay. So not even. So it was just for that. Again, just like the mum situation, kind of hard to have feelings for a character we met a couple episodes ago. However, I do like that choice there. Yeah, Japan are kind of fucked really, aren't they? Japan really messed this up. Unlucky. Kind of like Hitler there. They're just going kamikaze. Just doing whatever the hell they want. Might as well go out in a blaze of glory. Doesn't really matter about leaving these red ants alive, to be honest, does it? I mean, they can cause casualties, don't get me wrong, but it's not that they can reproduce or anything. Slow him down, taking out some fucking eggs. Okay. Slightly embarrassing. It also kind of feels like the levels don't really like. Why is bro leveling up off some eggs? The levels don't really seem to scale, do they? Of like the level one, you get like a certain amount of experience for killing an enemy. That should go down as you level up. However, he's leveling up off some fucking crappy ants and some eggs. You'd hope it would take like, look at this. Like you'd think it would slow down. It's like it's not balanced really well, is it? Level 100. You need to balance the game. Oh shit. Oh, how? Like a cocoon. Mate. So he was actually able to arise, King Ant. Huh. You did. But you can't be reborn if you didn't die. Okay. What are we going to call him? Hello. Hello. I was going to say Robert or something like that. I guess it's a little bit similar. Roberto. Bellu. Again, the way we've seen these ants now, it makes you feel like they're just like easy work. Like you look at this and it's like, oh yeah, whatever. But in actuality, these ants are really strong, and these guys are probably going to die, right? But because of the way that they've been depicted so far, we haven't really seen them achieve anything in the last few episodes, which again is a bit of a shame because again in season one they built these ants up really well. Like we just saw like little flashes of like a red ant and at the start of the series, and they seemed quite scary and they had a lot of aura to them, and that's all just been taken away. So it makes them feel like they're not really an issue right now, but they are. Or they should be, I think. Let's see what you got, Beru. This is disastrous. One of those goes in the propeller. That thing might be going down. Well, I think Japan suffered the most. So it didn't do too bad, all things considered. Yes, it did. Okay. This looks like Atomic Bat. Oh damn. He's got a sideways gets a contention. Oh shit. So this guy seems ridiculous. Ah, where's that guy from? China? Is he from China, do you reckon? America? Our country's hero. Who's our country? He kind of looks Asian. It's a very Asian looking design from the back, isn't it? But yeah. So yeah, no idea who this guy is. I guess this is like a little teaser for perhaps maybe manga readers or something. I got no idea who that guy is. Maybe it's a bit like well, I don't know if I'd say Jinwoo's dad was a teaser, but in that's kind of similar vein of like just like teasing a super powerful character like they did Jinwoo's dad. Kind of doing something similar here. Good point. Good point. I mean, yeah, but they have got a good point. If he was here from the start, fewer people would have died. You would have died. If he didn't come. If it was a little bit later. No, if it was a little bit later, she would have survived still, I guess. I wonder if the healer would have survived. It was a little bit selfish, wasn't it? Although there are times when you need to be a little bit selfish. Want to spend some time with his mum that he just recovered, so I think fair enough. I think. One of those things. Just pausing that. It's one of those things. Like, yes, I know this was like a big mission. However, like there seems to be always something going on in this universe. If you know what I'm saying, there's always like these gates appearing and trouble and danger and people dying. So it's like you can't call off meeting with your mother and your family for this. Like I kind of totally understand. Like I get the point that if he did come earlier, fewer people would have died. But again, if he called off this time, next time he made plans, something would come up, and then next time something would come up, and like when would you ever actually get to spend time with your family? So I kind of sympathise with it in that regard, especially again considering his mother's illness. Again, it's a real shame we've had seen nothing from his mother still, like nothing. We had one scene of him bringing her back, which people went crazy for, which I've got no understanding why, because she was not built up at all as a character, and she still hasn't been. It's quite a shame. Because then maybe even more people would then sympathise like I just did there. And it'd be even more understandable. But like I said, he's not a story writer, this is an artist, I think. We are watching an artist's work rather than a storyteller's. I think the show becomes a little bit more enjoyable when you look at it from that perspective. Look at this ants just floating. Is it? Jesus. Look at these guys. Well, we know who he's talking about there, but not much else that made much sense. And there's Jinwoo's dad. I was going to say that was Jinwoo's dad because they look quite similar, but he's definitely a bit more animalistic, that guy we just saw there. But they do look quite similar, actually, don't they? I almost got a bit confused there. And they knew he was there as well. Well, that would be quite confusing in English, wouldn't it? Being at such a high status and have your name be called Go. This is Go. You would maybe interpret that as, all right, mission starts, whereas he's actually just introducing himself. Hitori de Monday night. I'll be alright by myself. Are they really gonna end the season off like this? Interesting. I like this song. You died. You died. to smell him. Well, it's a bit of a shame, isn't it? You guys unfortunately can't really grow that much. I guess that's also a bit of a negative in terms of like the writer, the creator of this series, written himself into a corner a few times, um, with the power scaling with the ants, which we just saw. Again, not making it all too. Didn't have that kind of like sense of despair or anything that we had at the start of the series, which again is still my favorite episodes for sure. In terms of the just hunters in general, the fact that they can't actually improve, like there's only one character in the series that can really improve, just kind of makes it like there's that thing going around about people like, can you name any characters that aren't Song Jin Woo in Solo Leveling, and many people can't. Even the big fans of the series can't. I think one of the reasons why, to be honest, is because it is in Korean, so they are quite hard names to remember, at least for me. But it just makes it so like your side characters don't really get to evolve or gain. Yeah, just it's not great that your side characters can't improve themselves and they can't really develop. Like that is it's an interesting idea to start out, but then I think when you get like halfway through a story, it's like, damn, I really fucked up here. My side characters are all now going to be quite boring. Fuck it out. Those monkeys. So again, we're never going to be ending off with some kind of cliffhanger or something, aren't we? This show loves a cliffhanger. That's why I said we're really going to end off the season like this, starting out in a new Red Gate. Okay, not the best final episode, to be honest with you. Not the most interesting or anything. Wrapped things up decently, I do think. I think that's a real negative of quite a few shows. The fact that because they're adapted from manga, it kind of always feels like it's just like there's never a kind of good conclusion to a season unless it's the final season. A lot of times, and I will say this felt like a good wrap up, a good time to wrap up things. If you know what I'm saying, like not too much teased for the future, but a little bit of teasing for what's going to be coming up next season. A few new characters introduced, which is cool, but yeah, just not the most entertaining episode. Like I said, I'm mostly here for the production and fight scenes and animation, so yeah. I guess you could call me a brain dead fan in that regard, but like I said, there's not really too much to appreciate in the story, so yeah. And again, the good reason for that. But thank you guys for watching. I wonder if I imagine there's going to be a season 3. This show is crazy popular. Crazy popular. So I imagine if I type in solo leveling, I imagine there's like some kind of announcement or something. Oh, it doesn't look like it actually. That's actually quite surprising. When did season 2 get announced? I'm pretty sure it wasn't too far after season 1, was it? It might have even been during season 1, like not even after it finished. But yeah, like I said, not the best episode. Again, decent to wrap things up, but you guys know I said last week that I wasn't in favour of Biru, I guess we call him now. I wasn't in favour of him getting arisen, just because it just feels like now it's just a bit cheap that we came up against someone so powerful and seemingly struggles so much, and now we can just kind of bring him out whenever we need, and it's just like he would have left more of a legacy if he just like didn't get a. Because you guys know I'm not a massive fan of the Arisen soldiers in general. All their fight scenes are just kind of like filler to me, to be honest with you. Again, they don't really have any character. He now can speak, so maybe that might actually give him like an opportunity to grow character. But if any of the other side characters in the show are anything to go by, I don't think that is very likely. So yeah, almost like, I wouldn't say it's like disrespectful, but it tramples upon his legacy a little bit of being like having such aura and being such a kind of such a figure during this season. It kind of takes that down of like, oh, now he's our pet, so we can just bring him out and he'll obey us no matter what, whenever he wants. So yeah, I'm not a massive fan of that, but like I said, I'm not really a fan of the writing in general of the show. I don't think it's been very good since the start of the season. As I said, the opening episodes with Jinwoo actually kind of changing and being in that situation were actually well written. I do believe they had quite a bit of tension, but ever since then there's not been too much of that, unfortunately. As I did say, the season has been a little bit weaker than season 1 just for that reason alone, but again, production wise, music, the animation, the voice acting, again, just the production levels are still top tier. So I definitely am going to be continuing this show as it does go forward, but like I said, don't expect me to enjoy the story all too much. Do let me know what you guys thought about this finale though down in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think of a couple of the new characters that got introduced during this episode. Quite a bit to think about, to be honest with you, in terms of like those animalistic monster, these people, like what's going on with that? They seem very human, don't they? Do you reckon they're like a little bit like Beru or Beru? I think Beru's from Dragon Ball. I've never watched Dragon Ball, so I've got no idea. But Beru might end up mixing that up quite a bit. But yeah, I wonder if these guys are a little bit like Beru in terms of like learning. Maybe they can eat people and kind of learn from humanity or something. Or maybe these guys were human and they turned into this or something. Like this guy just kind of looks quite human, to be honest, doesn't he? He does look a little bit animalistic, but yeah, that guy, this blue guy, definitely looks much more inhuman, doesn't he? So yeah, looking forward to seeing what goes on with that. Again, let me know what you guys want in the comments. Leave a like on the video if you guys did enjoy, and subscribe to the channel if you want to keep up to date. And I'll see you guys with season 3 whenever that does release.